October 12, 2014, from the Georgia Dome in Atlanta, Georgia. It was the Chicago Bears at the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons got on the scoreboard first, as they were the only team to score in the first quarter, as Matt Bryant hit a 52-yard field goal to make it 3-0 Falcons over the Bears. But then in the second quarter, the Bears would score 13 unanswered points as Gould hit a pair of field goals sandwiched around a touchdown pass from Cutler to Morgan. Gould hit a 25-yard field goal to tie the game up at 3, and then Cutler would throw a 3-yard touchdown pass to Josh Morgan to make it 10-3 Bears over the Falcons, and then Gould would add a field goal at the very end of the quarter and at the end of the half, as it were, and that would make it 13-3 as the Bears led this game by 10 points going into the locker rooms at halftime. So then in the third quarter, the Falcons finally responded as they got into the end zone for the first time in this game, as Matt Ryan hit Antone Smith for a 41-yard touchdown pass that made it 13-10 as the Falcons now trailed the Bears by 3, and then they tied the game up about 5 minutes later when Matt Bryant hit his second 50-plus yard field goal, this one from 54 yards out, to tie the game up at 13 apiece. But then a little over a minute later, Matt Forte would run 6 yards into the end zone, capping off a 3-play drive that went 80 yards, and the Bears now led 19-13 after the extra point was blocked by the Falcons. So that block extra point kept it a 6-point game, and that was it for the third. But then in the fourth, around the 10-minute mark, Matt Forte ran it in for a second touchdown of the game, this one from 9 yards out, and that would make it 27-13, and the Bears actually went for a 2-point conversion, and they were successful as Cutler hit Martellus Bennett. So it was 27-13, and that would be the final score, as the Bears would hold off the Falcons, and they pick up the win. And with the victory, the Bears are now at 500 at 3-3 on the season, as they are 3-1 on the road, and the Falcons are now 2-4 on the season, 2-1 at home. And in this game, Jay Cutler was 26 for 38 with 381 passing yards and a touchdown. Matt Forte had 80 yards off of 17 carries and 2 touchdowns. Cutler actually ran for 11 yards off of 5 carries as well. Alshon Jeffery had 136 receiving yards off of 5 receptions, and Brandon Marshall had 113 yards off of 6 receptions. Forte also had 77 receiving yards to go with his 80 rushing yards to give him a total of 157 yards. So quite the offensive production by the Bears. And for the Falcons, Matt Ryan had 19 passes off of 37 attempts. He had 271 passing yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. The leading rusher for the Falcons was Steven Jackson with just 25 yards off of 6 carries, and their leading receiver was Julio Jones with 68 yards off of 4 receptions. Smith actually had 64 yards off of 4 receptions as well, one of which was that touchdown, and he also ran for 5 yards off of 2 carries. So the Falcons, their high-powered offense, got shut down at home, and the Bears ended up sacking Matt Ryan 4 times. The Falcons did get 3 sacks. For the Bears, 2 of their sacks went to Willie Young. He had 2 sacks in this game. Jared Allen had a sack. And, of course, Stephen Paella got a sack, as he's been a sack machine this year. And Massaquoi had a sack for the Falcons. Bierman had half a sack, as did Soy. And McLean ended up getting a sack, as Robert McLean gets that sack. And Hurst had the game's only interception, as they intercepted Matt Ryan. So the final score, Bears 27, Falcons 13.